Welcome to Apprentice of Silence. Today we're doing a pick a card reading asking about what's keeping you. The idea is that there's a reason for why you're not aligning with whatever change it is that you want to experience. So there is this notion that there is something keeping you from aligning. And it's interesting to figure out what's the perceived benefit of not aligning with a change, or what's preventing you from seeing the benefit of said change. So that's what we're going to figure out today. Thank you for being here. Pile number 1. What's keeping you? First message: truth is a choice. Let it be mine versus yours. What I'm feeling is it's like you're holding some sort of the similar feeling signature to resentment, but it's almost like you have to prove yourself to someone. So you can't move on until this person has figured out, or it has been proven to them that they were wrong. It's that type of feeling. Most of the time what feels bad is not knowing exactly what you want. This clarifies to me that the resistance is like a coping strategy to not make a choice. So say that somebody this is very abstract. It almost feels like two children fighting in kindergarten. But let's see the third message, and I'll come back to this. Devils and angels, let's talk about it. In all of this, who am I to you? That's another card that talks about abstract ideas of right versus wrong, and how it's really about using universal truths to manipulate others into making one choice over the other. This feeling is almost like a block no matter what. I'm not going to move forward no matter what, because I'm so powerless to making the other person see that they were wrong, but I'm not going to admit to this powerlessness. And in order to avoid admitting to this powerlessness, I'm going to resist change no matter what. Because what I'm getting out of it is that I'm still fighting for something honorable, because I'm resisting this thing that I think is wrong in this person. But this is like a protector aspect. You never really even... See, what I'm feeling here is that you're not even in your power. You don't even have the clarity of mind to see everything for what it is. Because this protector aspect is just resisting. And this is what's keeping you. I want some advice. What to do about this protector aspect? What does this protector aspect need? Eight of Cups talks about leaving something. But when I saw this, I heard the perfect life. Okay, what does this protector aspect need? Both King and Queen of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see that, or if the lights is all off. The Fool and Five of Swords that talks about betrayal and leaving something behind. Sneaky actions. But also, nah, I'd rather stay on this side. So what I'm seeing with this card is, I wonder why the light is so off. Anyway, what I'm seeing with this card is almost like an evacuation point. So say that something has happened and it's time to move on, and everyone else is evacuating the living quarters where they used to live, but not this guy. He'd rather stay on this side of the fence and just stay there. Fool. Somehow the wires have been crossed where you see that you are the fool in a positive way by staying. This is so confusing. It's somehow there's this feeling that you're making the right choice. You're making the right choice by staying. This energy is so up in the mind. It's a mental energy. And it's almost like impossible to communicate some kind of emotional, real soul truth to it. What does this aspect of you need? I'm feeling fear to even drop into the emotional. Okay, I think I got it. So you know how if you go to school, you're taught about principles upon which the society works. You got laws, you got education, you got some kind of societal ladder where if you accomplish things, you'll go up the ladder, and they're all mathematical. There is some kind of do this and you'll get that principle. And for this protector aspect, that feels safe. Do this and you get that predictability. The problem is that this protector aspect of you, that is keeping you stuck or keeping you just sane or safe, this protector aspect that we're dealing with here is unaware that the predictability of this world is a lie. So whenever there are other aspects of you that are showing that, hey, no, actually, law of attraction works a different way, or law of mirroring works a different way. It's all about what's in our mind. It's our feeling state. We get to choose, we get to focus, we get to create. That goes right past this part of you because it's not a reality to it. And instead, this aspect keeps telling you stuff like, oh, well, our grades weren't good enough in school. That's why the ladder didn't work. Not because the ladder doesn't work, not because society doesn't work that way. It justifies in a self-blaming way why the structure isn't yielding desired results. You might almost call this aspect unawakened, but not in like, I wouldn't call it unawakened. It's not like people who are asleep and are just following some kind of rules without questioning them. No, this is not the case for this part. Not what I'm feeling. It's more that it has been created with the purpose of applying these rules to life. So that's what it is doing. It is a learned behavior from school and from society. And this is the way for it to keep you safe. And now it's almost like this part of you is getting in the way for something that you want to achieve. What is important to understand is this is the only reality that exists for this part of you. So imagine a child. Actually, imagine a 10-year-old. And this 10-year-old has already been in school for a couple of years, right? So imagine explaining to this 10-year-old that the system that he or she is in, that the child is in, doesn't work, and it's not really real. It just seems to be. What's really real is that feelings dictate what happens to you. And choose a different thought will alter your feeling state, and therefore you'll create a different outcome. What, excuse me, okay? What is that 10-year-old going to do with that information? Like it's ungraspable. Don't allow this aspect of you to use shaming tactics in order to justify why it is right. Don't allow this aspect of you to shame your being with words like, well, you didn't do enough of this, you didn't achieve this enough, you didn't participate in this enough, so that is why. You are lazy, you are irresponsible, that is why the system is not working for you. Don't allow it to use shaming tactics to justify why it is right. Instead, when the shaming comes up, say, Hey, without the shaming. Let's imagine the shaming is not real. Show me some other ways where you are right and I would be wrong. Without the shaming, without pointing fingers and being like, you're wrong because you didn't do enough. The system is right. You're wrong because you didn't do enough. Show me other ways. Show me other ways. Show me how the system worked for other people. But real example. And you can start feeling this aspect of you panicking because without the shaming, it has no tools. But it's going to shame and like panic and start shaming, and then you have to block it and be like, okay, honey, without the shaming, let's look at it again. because you can't get past this aspect of you. You want to be on board with this aspect of you, and you have to realize this is you. This is a part of you, meaning a part of you does believe in the system. Let this part of you explain itself. Why does it believe in the system? What proof does it have for the system? But no self-shaming. We're not allowing self-shaming. That's abuse, and it's not kind. Without the tactic of shame. Why does this part of you believe what it believes? And what's going to come up is that panic. And sit with it. And then question it. Now, further than that, I can't tell you what your own aspect has as reasons, right? But what's keeping you is this part. So I'd highly recommend you to sit with it and ask it, what is your proof? What is your reasons for believing the system? Mapping it out, journaling, whatever you need to do, whatever you do in terms of parts work to understand more of yourself. But yeah, this is your homework. This is what's keeping you. Okay. Group 1, thank you. See you soon. Group 2, welcome. What is keeping you? Queen of Cups. Mother energy. What is keeping you? Something unresolved with your mother in the past. Emotional things. What is keeping you? Something that moved too fast without any type of reconciliation. It's almost like you wish you had a fight with her and there was no fight. It just kind of... You know when you're driving on the road and you pass something and you wish you would... Like you didn't fully look at it. And now you've already passed it. So that was a long time ago. Like you can't go back on the road. Like if you pass something on the highway, it's past. It's that type of energy. And you almost feel like it's unfair. You wish there was some type of judgment, some type of... Like it feels like defeat, and it feels like, I just want to go back, figure it out, throw it on her face, have a fight about it, figure out what was wrong, figure out what even was, and kind of make amends. But there was no conflict or fight even to make amends. There is just this futility. I see you and I see myself, the peace within, Heartbeat steady. I am home. I am free. Integration. Mm-hmm. Now I'm trying to figure out what you should do about this. And I'm thinking that look at this whole situation like an entity and like an aspect. So it's not something that didn't happen. This is something that happened. So the whole, it's like a theme. No, it's like the futility is the thing. So this whole scenario is one thing that happened. It's not about trying to figure out the conflict and how to get back and how to see it, no, it's the whole thing. This whole thing is like a repeated scenario where you've been feeling like this many times over and over and over and over again. That's why it keeps coming back into your life. So the key here is to not look at the different fragments, not look at the different elements of this situation, but look at the whole situation as one entity, as one whole thing, and address it as one. And specifically address this flavor of futility. And this flavor of futility, I don't quite know how to put it in words yet. What does it feel like? It feels like you were forced to continue without any consideration. It was already past. Like, it already happened. Bam, you're already done. You can't go back. It's already done. And this pain in the stomach of... It's almost like somebody who pushed you down a water slide before anyone even asked you if you wanted to go on a water slide. But then now you're in the pool at the bottom and somebody has already even thrown you out of the pool at the bottom of a water slide, and you're just on the floor again, looking up at the water slide, and you've just gone down the water slide. Somebody pushed you down, or somehow you even got up on the water slide and you got down and you were in the pool and you were thrown out of the pool. Now you're just looking at it. And it has already happened, and so fast, and nobody's paying any consideration to the fact that you didn't even choose it. But it's almost like it has already passed for so long ago, so it's not like you were right there at the top before going down the water slide and you had a fit and you said, no, I don't want to do this. You didn't even have that option, and now, when awareness has hit you, you're already even out of the pool. It's like 5 steps too late to do anything about it. That's the feeling of futility. It's like I can't even... If I throw a fit now, what am I having a fit about? How do I even articulate what I'm having a fit about? That's an entity. That's a thing. This aspect of you has put on the brakes, and it's keeping you with the brakes on. It's impossible to lift a plane when you have the brakes on. When I don't know how it's called. It's claps. It's on the wings. You can do it. And that is brakes, almost. And if you have the brakes on, and when you're trying to lift a plane, It works, but not really. The issue here is that you can't, this is keeping you because it's so difficult to articulate it. I would look into, I would just loop memories and look for this feeling. And with your adult self, like try to understand what was really happening, because I'm sensing like a, not a timid, but almost like a shy, timid child that didn't really cause much of a fuss. Imagine that you are interacting with a child like that today. So the child isn't particularly like saying no to things. And so together with a bunch of other kids, you just push the kid down the water slide too. You didn't actually really ask the child, but the child didn't really actually say no either, so you didn't pay much attention to the child, really. And the child is out of the, like you pick the child out of the pool, yada yada yada. Like there is much going on. Imagine yourself in the sense of the parent or the adult or whatever, interacting with that child. Like, are you able to see what led the child to feel the way it feels? The child wasn't really considered. At all. And this is worse than a child that throws a fit and then isn't considered. Because then a boundary was presented and ignored, but the child still feels that it had a boundary. The boundary was just not respected. So it's more of an anger type of thing. This child isn't really angry. This child is more blindsided. It's like it can't see. It's confusion. It's almost like you want to say, hey, I'm sorry that I didn't consider it, that I didn't consider you, that you were not a part of even making a decision, that I didn't ask you if you had an opinion, I didn't give you more options to have opinions about, I didn't give you more time, I didn't give you more information about what was available to you. I didn't explain to you how the different options would look. We didn't talk about this at all. This isn't the child that goes with the flow because it has chosen to go with the flow. This child seems to go with the flow because this child needs way more time to process and make a choice. So in the end, what happens is that this child just feels like a ghost. And that it can't do anything about it either. I hope you look into this. I can't tell you more what to do and not to do, or what the results are if you look into this, but if you want to know what's keeping you, it's this aspect of you. It's this aspect of your being. Like, this is still, it's a recurring theme, and it has not been dealt with. And this is trying to gain your awareness. This is trying to get your awareness. I hope this was beneficial. Thank you, Group 2. See you soon. Group 3, welcome. What is keeping you? This group is heavy based in intuition and spiritual knowledge. This I felt and was told even before I started shuffling and recording. And I'm hearing your own mind is keeping you. And if you have an answer, follow it. Angel of Annihilation. Let me read about that because I'm a bit... No, if you have an answer, follow it. What's keeping you is what if something better shows up? 111 when I said that. What you're doing is that you're continuously looking for more questions. So you have all the answers. You have the answers. You have an answer. And you continuously are looking for more questions because what if you find a better answer? But that is keeping you stuck. That's keeping you. So how do you get out of it? What I'm struggling about this is that there is a reason for why you're doing it. But the more you're looking for a reason for why you're doing it, the more you're enabling the doing of it. Because then you're just asking more questions and you're just like repeating this. There is a reason for why you're doing it, but I don't know how. The only way out is to stop doing it. To be like technical and pick one answer and follow through with it so that you get out of this asking question things. So again, even you being here at this reading is because you're trying to figure out more questions. You're trying to figure out more questions to ask. That is your subconscious commitment. I need to ask more questions. And you're doing that because of some reason. But by trying to figure out what the reason is, you're going to ask more questions. And that's the problem. So this is almost like you need A to do B, but you need B to do A, and so I'm here and go and accomplish something. Go and build something, or go and, I don't know, cut down a tree, or like accomplish something. Where it's more working than thinking. More doing than thinking. Where it's more doing of something than asking the questions to think of something. Almost like deliberately commit yourself to that and recognize that you are in a spiral where even more questions are going to get you to spiral even more. when you're able to, pick an answer, commit to that answer, and almost do tunnel vision. And don't ask anything else. And when the panic hits about, oh, I have to know more, I have to research more, I have to ask more questions, understand that this is like a break. That this is like a roadblock. And you're playing a mental chess game with yourself. The only way out is to stop doing it. And the way to stop doing it is to stop asking questions. For a while, but from this point where you are at right now, if we are continuing to ask why, that is the problem. The asking why is the problem, and it's going to get you to spiral even further, which is going to get you further and further away from accomplishing in general. And that's not going to be satisfying. Like, it will feel good for you to go out and cut down a tree and do something, to build a house and do something, to fix an engine and do something, you know what I'm talking about? Like, just do it. Like, I'm sensing you're trying to ask, and I'm also sensing the guidance to don't ask. It's crystal clear. Don't ask. Do. I want to ask so many more questions. Cause like, but how do I stop asking? But what do I, but where do I? But why don't I just listen to that answer? That feels like anxiety, but your answer is already there and it's quiet and it's calm. So when the anxiety comes up, go into, wait, I have my answer. It's calm. I'm gonna do it. What's my answer? That's a question. Affirm, I know my answer. I have my answer. I know my answer. I have my answer. I know my answer. Keep looping those affirmations. Because you're driving yourself to a point of what's it called? I don't know the word in English, but your wires are getting kaput. You're overheating your own brain. And affirm, I have my answer. I know my answer. I have my answer. That changes your frequency, and the anxiety you're shifting out of it. This is what's keeping you. This is the only advice I have for you at this point in time. Thank you so much, Group 3. Good luck.